Hey everybody, I'm Steven, and I'm about to go see Avengers Endgame. I will catch you after the credits.
If we do this, we'd be going in short-handed.
Yeah, you mean because he killed all our friends?
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
It's not about how much we lost. It's about how much we have left. We're the Avengers. We gotta finish this. You trust me? I do.
So this is a big one, and it's actually probably going to be one of my shorter videos because so much of this movie has to do with other parts of this movie that if it's not in the trailer, I'm probably not going to talk too heavily about it. The first third of this movie has an extremely somber tone, which kind of gets summed up in everybody's kind of trying to move on, deal with this crisis. 5 years pass after dealing with Thanos and everything. The movie does, I would say, in the second third. The first third feels like a funeral. Everybody's mourning, everybody's trying to deal with their loss, everybody's just kind of, it's slow, the whole movie has this kind of dim color to it, and it's needed, it's deserved, to the point where, when it does start to get some humor in there, some of it feels a little awkward, but I think it might be intentional, because, there are characters missing here. This shouldn't be a funny time, but they're trying to deal with it through humor, so you kind of get this, kind of laugh, and some of it really works. And then we get into the second half of this movie, and honestly I feel like this isn't really a spoiler there, especially when you've got a movie with a object that travels, deals with time itself. There's some time travel in this movie, and they do interact with past events to try and fix things, which all kind of accumulates into a final act where everything is big, everything feels earned. This 2 hours that you've been waiting for this climax pays off in such a huge, epic climax. I would say, you're gonna see it. I mean, this video isn't gonna sway you if you're gonna see it or not. You've already made up your mind. This movie, it just gets so big, and there are so many payoffs, and so many things feel like it's just been a reward for people who have stuck around for, I think, 11 years now. I think Iron Man came out in 2008, and this is 2019, so 11 years, 20, I think, 1 movies, 22, 21, somewhere around there. I think this might have been 22, actually. Maybe Spider-Man Far From Home is 22. There's so much going on, and I just want you to know, everything, you might start to get a little antsy in your seats about the halfway point, because it's slow, but there's no bad scenes. It's just, it really, really takes its time to make you realize what an impact all of this has had on each other. Ant-Man is back, Hawkeye is back, so you don't have to worry about them. All the original Avengers are in this, which might be why they put Ant-Man in this. Also, it's another thing, you kind of know, if you've seen Ant-Man and Wasp, he was in the quantum realm, which is basically this other universe where, spoiler alert, time works differently. So I even kind of theorized before this movie came out, he was going to be the key. This was where Ant-Man, the quantum realm was all going, leading to Captain Marvel's back in this movie from her first appearance in Captain Marvel. She's not in it a lot, so don't expect to see a lot of her, but I would say there's enough of her in this that you'll get your fix if you really, really liked Captain Marvel. And if you don't like Captain Marvel, I think there's at least one scene in this movie that might tip your scales a little bit. and it's in the last act. Like, the last act of this movie is basically flawless. Like, I couldn't find anything to really complain about. And you even see, there's this, like, lineup of characters in the end where you see everybody, and there's even one or two that you wouldn't expect to see. One's a reference from Iron Man 3 that you really have to be paying attention, know who this person is to get. And I did get it. Cassie heard me go, "Aw," and she was like, "I've got to ask him about that later." So, I don't want to talk a lot more about this movie. I'm going to let this movie just kind of sit and resonate, because it's a big one, it's a long one, and I had overall positive feelings about this movie, but there was just, like, the first third and second third, you have to kind of sit with, and there were things that I absolutely loved about it. Especially the fact that I've seen some of the TV series as well. Like, I've seen some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and I've seen all of Agent Carter, and there are some payoffs from that, too, that you don't really get before now. And it's really, really touching and really good, and I'm really glad this is how they ended it. Well, ended it. Like, the big phases. Technically, Far From Home will be the last movie in Phase 3, but I will say, no end credits or mid-credit sequence. There's like this big kind of like curtain call almost of the superheroes, and you get this kind of like sports card with their signatures of the main Avengers, and it's really, really well done. And there is an audio stinger at the end of the credits that I didn't stay for, but I looked it up, and it's not really a spoiler, it's just, it was kind of like a perfect way to end it. You get an audio sting of like metal clanking and scraping, and that's the sound Tony Stark did making the Iron Man suit in the first Iron Man, which is, like, that's how the movie started. And it's fitting that after 11 years, 22 movies, this big thing wraps up saying, like, this is how far we've come. And I would say, if you're going to go see it quick, because a lot of people are going to be talking about this movie. I'm going to give this movie an 8 out of 10, and fade to black.
Part of the journey is the end.